If you're looking to build a website and you've never done it before, or maybe you've been building websites on other platforms or using tools that just frustrated you, and you're looking for maybe a new approach to building a website, then I think SP Page Builder can give you a more streamlined approach to building a website. Here at One Stone Web, we've been using SP Page Builder for 9 years now. And we've learned some great things and built some incredible websites using SP Page Builder. And what we would like to do is show you some of the things we've learned along the way, some of the things you may not know about that are possible with a page building tool in a content management system such as Joomla. We're going to show you some tricks that we learned along the way. We're going to show you some mistakes that we made along the way and how to avoid those. And today we're going to look at installing SP Page Builder and get a general overview of the layout, the structure, how it works, and how it can help you build your website in a more efficient manner. So before we get started, once again, like the page, subscribe to the channel. If you have any comments, you have any questions about SP Page Builder you'd like me to build videos for, if you have any questions about SP Page Builder you would like me to show you how to approach those and how to more efficiently use SP Page Builder for some of the things you're trying to do, please give us a comment below. And having said all that, let's get going. So here we are in our fresh install of Joomla 4, and we're going to log in. And once you log in to the website, this is what the back end or backbone of Joomla 4 looks like. And basically this is the home dashboard, and it kind of gives you any kind of notifications like we discussed before. What we want to do is we want to come over here to System, and we want to install an extension. So when we click on Install Extension, there are several options. Number one, you can upload a package file. You can install from a folder or a URL, or you can install from the web. What we're going to do here is upload from a file that we've already downloaded. This is SP Page Builder 3.86 Pro. The free version is fine as well. And all you do is you come here, you click and drag it in, and very quickly it installs it. And in just a matter of seconds, you are ready to use SP Page Builder. To find SP Page Builder, we come over here to Components, and here it is right here. And when you click this and find a drop down, you'll see that there are pages, media, categories, integrations, languages, about, and any tags you want to create in SP Page Builder. What we're going to do is look at what we're going to build, which is pages, which is what you see on your website. So we click on pages and we see that there are none because this is a fresh install. So we come up here and we click New, and all we really need to do right now is type in the name of our first page, which we're just going to call Home, and save it. And now if we close this out, you'll see we have a page called Home. So to go back into Home, you click on Home, and basically it is a blank slate. Basically what you would expect to see. What we want to do is add structure. And you do that by several ways. Number one, you can import pages that are already predefined from SP Page Builder, or something you may have exported out of one of your other websites. You can take a web page from another website, export it into a JSON file, and then import it into here. And you'll notice that right here that there's import, export, or if you click on here, you'll find dozens upon dozens upon dozens of predefined pages that come from SP Page Builder Actually, they come from their parent company called Joomshaper. And you can definitely bring one of these in. If you want to look at one of them, we'll look at pet care. If we look at this, you can see you can bring in any one of these pages just by clicking it and importing it, or all of them. But we're not going to do that today. What we're going to do is start from scratch. So we want to create a new row. So we bring our mouse over here to new row and click on it, and it wants to know what kind of structure you're looking for. Now, if you've never worked on building a website that uses Bootstrap 5, or even if you have and don't quite understand it, everything in Bootstrap 5 needs to be divisible into 12. So we can either have one column of 12, two columns of 6, 3 columns of 4, 4 columns of 3, or if we come over here, you're going to see this is a 5 plus 7. I'm sorry, a 7 plus 5. This is a 3 plus 6. I'm sorry, this is a 3 plus 9. This is a 3 plus 6 plus 3. Any combination, as long as it adds up to 12, it is perfectly fine. So right now, let's just say we want to create a 3-column row, 4 plus 4 plus 4, and you click generate, and lo and behold, you now have a row with 3 columns in it. In these 3 columns is where you add all of your add-ons that are built into SP Page Builder. But before we go there, there's a couple of things I want to discuss about the structure of SP Page Builder. Number one, this is the original way that we used to build pages on SP Page Builder. This is called the back-end view, and it works perfectly fine. As we move forward in these tutorials, we're actually not going to use this view. We're going to use the front-end editing view, because with the next release of SP Page Builder, you will not be able to edit in the back-end view anymore. But I just wanted to kind of start here to show you the structure of how it's laid out. We'll see all these on the front end as we start adding add-ons in our next tutorials. But basically, you have a couple things here. This is the columns that we just created. Suppose you don't want 4, 4, 4. You wanted actually 4 columns of 3. If you click on that, lo and behold, it becomes your 4 columns of 3. The other thing that's interesting is you don't have to stay within the structures. In fact, if you notice, this is a little clever little thing here where there's actually stacked on top of one another. So suppose you want to build a whole section with a bunch of different shaped columns underneath it. You can definitely do that by coming in here, and suppose we want a column that is full width at the top. Then we want a row of 3 4s. And then we want a row of 2 6s. And then finish it with a row of 12. Notice it's a 12. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12. 6 plus 6 is 12, and then a 12. And when you generate this, you get this whole section here. That's a 12 plus your 3 4s plus your 6 plus 6 plus your 12. And you can fill these with any of the add-ons that are built into SP Page Builder. So that's one of the nice things about this. And suppose you need to rearrange this again in the future, you can always come back up here, rearrange your columns. It will move some things around in here. You'll have to click and drag them into the right place, but it's really sweet. Suppose that you get done this entire thing and you like it so much you want to add another one right below it. Well, there's a couple of things I want to show you. Number one, if you click this little up arrow, your row is still there, but it's just closed. It folded it up. And now you can come in here and say duplicate this row, and now we have 2 identical rows, one on top of another. Okay, but we're going to get rid of that. So we're going to come in here and we're going to go delete row. Okay. Suppose you have a row that you're working on and you want to try to modify it a little bit, and you do duplicate it, but on your new one you want to play around with things, but you don't want to mess up your old one. I do this all the time. One of the things you can do is, now that you've duplicated it If you come in here and say disable row, you can't get to this row to change it. I mean, you can see it, but you can't change anything on it. So it's protected. It also will not display or load on the front end. So we're going to take this and we're going to delete that for now. Always ask you as a backup, are you really sure you want to do this? Yes. You can also save your sections. We'll get into saving things in the upcoming videos. But here is the row options that we have here. And here's where it gets really, really powerful. So you notice over here in the dark, you see over here this thing that says row. If you come to admin label and change this to home page header, or let's call it hero panel. Okay? And you save this, this now tells you what this panel is, but as long as it's only in the admin label, it will never show up on your website. There are things you can do here. You can add a section title and a section subtitle. This will show up on your website. I don't use these because there's so many more powerful ways to do this than putting it in here, and sometimes you kind of forget where you put it and things like that. Here's some really cool stuff. You can have everything in this column vertically aligned top, center, or bottom, or not have it at all. Fluid row will allow your columns to go from edge of the screen to edge of the screen on the front end. I use this all the time. And then this remove column gaps, if we close this out real quick, if you see in here, you can see these built-in columns. Now, in this view, these will never go away. But if you come into here and you say remove column gaps and close this, now if you have 3 pictures, say 1, 2, 3, there'll be no space in between them. Whereas if you come back here and turn this off, there'll be space in between each of your 3 pictures. But you can also choose what gap you want between your items in your row. You can choose between pixel, percent, EM, or rem. Those are whole tutorials in and of themselves that we will get to in the future. You can add a section ID. Suppose you want to address this with a hashtag and you want to call it by menu item this section. You can put the name here and call it to that section. You can also put its own CSS class that you build in your CSS custom area of your template that will be applied to just this section here. Coming here, there are some height options. You can give it a minimum height, a maximum height per device. And you do this by, it's either going to be a window height, a height, or nothing at all. I typically leave them at nothing at all because, once again, it gives me more flexibility in the actual building of it than locking it into the screen. But if you wanted this panel to be top to bottom of the browser when somebody starts this page, you would change this to window height. And then when they start this page, everything that's in this section will go from the top of the browser to the bottom. It will decide how tall the browser is, make it fit. Overflow X and Y is if you want to be able to have scroll bars top and bottom, you can definitely do that. You can set a section width here, max and min. Once again, I don't use these too much because I like the flexibility of setting everything with padding. So currently, if you notice here, I have a fluid row, so it's going to go edge to edge, but suppose I don't want everything to go quite to the edge. This has a built-in top, so these go top, right, bottom, left. Top, right, bottom, left. So if I want spacing within this section, right now it's giving me 50 top and 50 bottom, which is actually a number I really like. But if I want to push them in from the edge a little bit, I can either change this to a 20 or any other number, but I like them even. Or what I'd like to do even better is change these to a 10% and 10%. And that way it'll leave whatever size screen you have, 10% of the screen, it will stop this column from going all the way out to. You also have row, no, by the way, I said that wrong. Let me go back here. This is padding, so it will take from the edge of the screen and pad it inward. If you wanted space between this actual row and the edge of the screen, you would put it here in margins. Right now it's set to 0, means it's going to go full width. You can set a text color here. There are better places to set the text color because I don't use any of the settings up in here, so I don't have to worry about setting the text color. And then here's some cool stuff. The background, you can set a color, and you can do this by setting any of your RGBs. Come in here, do this nice little, teal color. You can also dim it down by setting the opacity to whatever percent you want. You can put an image as the background. You can put a gradient as your background. And the nice thing is you can do a linear or a radial background. And you can set how far in those colors come. I don't know how well you can see this on the screen grab. And again, you can change these to any color you want. Suppose you want this to be red and blue. And we want this to be a nice true blue. And we want this to go all the way down to almost nothing and bring this all the way up. Then we get this nice radial gradient from the center of the screen out. And you can also start it at the top center. You can start it at the top left. You can start it any of these positions down here, bottom left, things like that. Or you can set this to linear, which means it's not going to have the circle in the middle, but it's going to have some sort of linear, and you get to set the angle. And as you see, as we scroll around, you'll see how it circles the red and the blue around. And once again, you can decide how much of it you want true blue or whatever your first or second color is. You can set those there. The other thing you could do is you can put a border around your sections by setting a border width. Now, if you leave this off, you can set each border width as, say, 10. Let's go 10 px. We'll make this one a 5 px. Make this one a 10 px. And make, little typo there. And then make this a 5 px. What this will do is this will put a 10-point border at the top and bottom, because this is top, this is bottom, and a 5-point left and right, because this is left and right. And then, of course, you get to choose your border color as well. You can make it solid, double border, dotted border, dashed border. All of these options are available. Right now, we're going to choose none. Turn the color off. You can put a box shadow on these. We're going to go through these as we build a website to show you what all of these will do. This is just a general overview. You can put shapes top and bottom of your individual sections. You can hide this section on mobile, tablet, or desktop. Sometimes you need a different layout for a mobile device than you do a tablet and a desktop. You can make two sections, one just for tablet and desktop, and it's hidden on the mobile, and then make another one that's very similar, make it visible on the mobile, make it hidden on desktop and tablet. So that is the row. That's where everything lives in SP Page Builder. Now, as far as the add-ons, I told you there were a lot of them. We're going to get into some of the basic ones in our next video. But basically, you put those on by going here, and this is all of them that's listed, that's available. If it's a little overwhelming, you can go to your general. You can see there's Joomla modules you can pull in, animated headings, dividers, empty space, regular headings, content, which would probably include tab, text blocks, tables, just about anything you could ever want to put on your website is available here. Or suppose you just want to say, hey, I'm looking for a text box. You can type in text here, and there it is. And if you click it, and you'll see that it's pre-populated with some lorem ipsum. It's looking for an admin label. Every one of those add-ons will come with a block like this looking for information put in it. We will go through those one at a time in future videos, but just for now, for the sake of it, we're going to call this our first text block. And it won't matter because once again, it's in the admin label. I can come up here and lo and behold, our first text block is here. We can come up here and do a preview. And lo and behold, there's our text with our blue to red background. Obviously, the black's a little hard to read, so we can come in here and change this to white. And save, and then come into here. And we have basically just added a text block into our homepage. It's really simple. Now, when we come back next time, we will actually look at the text block, all of the options that it has, everything that goes into it. We'll actually start laying out some text blocks on our website, and we'll build a website as we go through these tutorials so you can see everything that SP Page Builder is capable of doing. So until next time, thank you for joining me. Once again, if you'd like the look and feel of these videos, if you're learning from them, please like the video and please subscribe to our channel. And any tips or tricks you would like discussed or you may have for me, please put them in the comments below, and I will sure to address them in future videos.